So some of you may have heard Donald Trump's running mate deliver remarks at the Republican National Convention. He talked about his life story about growing up in Southwest Ohio, and it was compelling. It's a compelling story. And it was not the full story. Frankly, what is very telling is what he did not talk about on that stage. He did not talk about Project 2025, their 900-page blueprint for a second Trump term. He did not talk about it because their plans are extreme and they are divisive. In recent days, they've been trying to portray themselves as the party of unity. But here's the thing. If you claim to stand for unity, you need to do more than just use the word. You cannot claim you stand for unity if you are pushing an agenda that deprives whole groups of Americans of basic freedoms, opportunity, and dignity. You cannot claim you stand for unity if you are intent on taking reproductive freedoms from the people of America and the women of America. Trying to ban abortion nationwide as they do and restrict access to IVF and contraception as their plan calls for. You cannot claim to be for unity if you try to overturn a free and fair election and threaten to terminate the United States Constitution. And you cannot claim to be for unity when your entire economic agenda is designed to prioritize billionaires and big corporations over the middle class. We're too busy watching what you're doing to hear what you're saying. But with the selection of his running mate this week, Donald Trump is also trying to distract people. He wants to direct attention away from his record and his Project 2025 plan to suggest that he and his running mate are going to prioritize the middle class. But we are not buying it. We are not falling for the okie doke. As many of you know, I am a former prosecutor, so I say let's look at the facts, shall we? So Donald Trump tries to claim he brought back American manufacturing. The fact is, under Donald Trump, America lost tens of thousands of manufacturing jobs. And more than 1,000 factories closed under his watch. The facts. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden and I have created nearly 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. So much so it's been described as a manufacturing boom. Last night, we heard claims that Donald Trump is for fighting for our seniors. Well, how the heck can you claim you fight for seniors when you intend to cut Social Security and Medicare? Which we all know is a lifeline for so many of our seniors. Let me be very clear. President Joe Biden and I will always protect Social Security, and we will always protect Medicare. All while we continue to fight to lower the cost of prescription drugs for our seniors It is President Biden and I that took on Big Pharma and finally capped the cost of insulin for our seniors at $35 a month. Who here has a family member with diabetes to know what that means? Right. But Donald Trump and his running mate intend to get rid of our $35 cap on insulin. They will side with Big Pharma and let them make prescription drugs more expensive. Not only that, on the issue of health care, they intend to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. Donald Trump and his allies tried more than 60 times to end the Affordable Care Act. 60 times. To give insurance companies back the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. Y'all remember what that was like? Children with asthma? Women who had survived breast cancer? Grandparents with diabetes? President Biden and I, on the other hand, have made the Affordable Care Act more strong. Because, you see, we believe health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. Pull up the split screen. Whereas the last administration gave tax cuts to billionaires, we gave tax cuts to families through the child tax credit, which cut child poverty in America by half. And please do note, their Project 2025 agenda would even end Head Start, to take away preschool from hundreds of thousands of our children. On the issue of the cost of living, Donald Trump says he will implement a 10% tariff on all imported goods. Well, understand, independent economists agree his tariffs would increase the cost of everyday expenses for families, the cost of gas, groceries, and clothing. We, on the other hand, have taken on Big Pharma, the big banks, and big corporations to bring down costs. It is we who have canceled debt, including student loan debt. In fact, testify if you have received it. Indeed. In fact, so far we have forgiven student loan debt for nearly 5 million Americans. And twice as much for our public servants, including our teachers, our nurses, and our firefighters. You're welcome. We are also fighting to lower energy costs. We made historic investments in clean energy. Today, America has record energy production, and we are energy independent. But Trump wants to roll back our progress. Check this out. In fundraisers with big oil lobbyists, he wanted to trade clean energy investments that we made for you for a $1 billion campaign contribution he could get for himself. Understand motivation. So North Carolina, I think it is clear. If Donald Trump were to win in November, he will continue to sell out working families. He will continue to attack reproductive freedom, and he will continue to undermine our democracy.
Now be sure to leave your reflections of Harris's speech down in the comments below, and like this video and share it with your friends so that you can bring more people into the comments section. We can hear their reflections as well. Now, I personally just am such a big fan of Kamala Harris and how she's supported Joe Biden in the past month with all of the crazy talk about him stepping down. She seems to have his back. Now, regardless of what happens, if Biden decides to step down, really what we're fighting for as a Democratic Party and as progressives and liberals in this country is that. It's that record and expanding on those ideas, expanding on caring for the oldest and worse off in our country. It's turning our energy production and usage into a clean energy revolution for the future. It's expanding healthcare. It's making this country better, right? We're not going back. We're not making it great again. No, we're making it better. And Kamala Harris is such a clear messenger on their achievements, on their accomplishments, which is really fantastic because in Biden's old age, he's kind of starting to stutter and a lot of people are jumping on him. But Kamala is a fantastic speaker and she's going to make a great president in 2028. But I think she speaks directly to, you know, Black and brown Americans, to women, to minority groups who are kind of scared of another Donald Trump. Meanwhile, you've got President Biden who, you know, the seniors love him. They know that he's not going to touch their Social Security, right? So I think two powerful forces like Kamala and Joe Biden, that is going to be very hard to overcome in November. And I get why a lot of people are talking about politics right now and they're afraid that Donald Trump is going to win in November. This whole Republican National Convention is a complete circus because after this whole like praise be Donald Trump and very like North Korean propaganda that this RNC is, he's going to have to talk about his record. He's going to have to talk about COVID. He's going to have to talk about cutting Social Security. He's going to have to try to bring people in to the Republican tent, which is hell-bent on this white supremacist belief. So that, whatever that monster Donald Trump is up to, doesn't compare to President Biden and Kamala Harris working together. So moments like this, which are going to happen again and again in the next few months, gives me such great hope. And I hope it gives you hope too. So again, if you like this video, be sure to share it and let me know what your comments were. And if you haven't subscribed to Reflect yet, do that and turn on notifications so that you can reflect with me in future videos. Thanks for watching. My name is Brennan Plank once again, and I will see you in the next video.